This is just one of those typical like revenge stories, I guess. Even I'm still surprised that that Mike isn't on the team. That was heartbreaking, not making the pro-am.
So, Havok, you're on Minnesota, you're in the CDL. How are you feeling?
I really wanted to get back into the CDL this year. Obviously, I was super kind of emotional at the beginning of the year, and I just had this determination after getting benched on my way to Florida. I was about to get on my flight, and then they benched me over like I found out by calling Tom because maybe it was Dexerto or maybe it was CDL Intel or someone tweeted out that they were looking at Vivid, and I was like, dude, please don't be me. So I called them, and sure enough, it was me. So I was like, I can't go to Florida just to be on the bench. So I talked to them. I was like, well, if I'm gonna play challengers to get back into the league, I probably should be in Texas because you have the best ping, you have the best chance to doing good. I told them that, and then they didn't want me to live in Texas because I mean they wanted all their players in Florida, which is totally cool. So I decided to just completely leave Florida, and like from that point on, I was just like, I got to get back in the league. Like I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna become the best and get back in the league. After a ton of grinding, sure enough, we're back. The whole New York situation, we had our chance to get back in the league, but I didn't want to just it not be the right fit for me, and then I really don't have another chance. So I waited, I was patient, and then Minnesota hit me up, and I just felt like I fit here perfect. I'm really excited to get to work.
You've had this time at the CDL. Do you think that having had your time in Challengers, having played with Texas Nation, do you feel like you're now a better player and a stronger person because of it?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, when you join any new team, the people around you can make you a better player, a better teammate. And those guys really did bring out some good qualities in me as a teammate, and I learned a lot with them. Jordan's a great leader. Kiz is a great duo. And then Paul is just a great person, and we just fit really well together. We meshed really well together. And the thing about challengers at the beginning of the year is you get a lot of tournament reps that the pros don't really get. So you're put in these high pressure situations a ton because you're playing cups, you're playing elites, and then obviously you have the events still. Like there's so many matches, so I've learned a lot of high pressure like decision making in challengers, and I think that definitely makes me stand out a lot more. So I'm excited. I think that'll help a lot being thrown back into the league this year, and I feel like I'm just a little bit ahead of the game right now.
And obviously with Texas Nation, you guys had so much success. You won 6 Challengers events in a row, which is huge. Like that's crazy. But obviously it came up to the LAN. I think you guys were head and shoulders expected to be the favourites to go and win that event. What was different? What went wrong? Why weren't you able to quite get over the line?
That was heartbreaking, not making the pro-am, because like that was a big reason. That was another reason why I didn't want to join New York too, is because I was like, we're gonna make the pro-am, and like I want to see how far this team can go, because we're like really good right now. We're on like a 6P or whatever, a 7P. So I was like, what can we do at the pro-am? And then not making the pro-am, I was like, yikes. Now what? Like, oh my god.
Was that like a kicker as to why you guys didn't stay together? Because obviously, like you've all gone your separate ways now. We've not got John General's gonna be standing in on OpTic Texas. Other rumors surrounding Kismet. Like, was that the kicker for you guys?
No, we would have stuck together for sure. We would have stuck together, and we would have been back, and we would have kept winning. I think. I really think we would have kept winning. But yeah, I got taken away, and not sure what's going on with Kismet. But I know the other two are sitting out for a little bit. So
the NYSL situation, we'll touch on that for a bit. You obviously rejected the offer. You stated your reasoning why. Lots of things about you didn't feel like you would click with the team. You weren't particularly a fan of the atmosphere and sort of things you'd heard around the team. But there was still sort of comments, even after you kind of explained your reasoning, that you shouldn't have rejected it. You should have maybe considered pushing through those problems and trying to iron those out. Looking back now you're on a different team in a different situation. What's your perspective on it? Are you glad that you stuck with your gut?
Yeah, I'm glad I stuck with my gut, and I was never going to regret that decision. I was stuck too. It was 50-50 for me. It was mainly my gut after, like logically, it was 50-50. Mainly it came down to my gut feeling, and I just decided to go against it. And looking back, I don't regret it. I never will. They do look good. We play them, and we're pretty even when we play their new roster, like the roster that they're trialing. They're a good team. Like I know it wasn't going to be like a super bad situation, but I didn't want to risk it. I don't regret anything. I'm happy with where I'm at right now.
And now obviously you're at Minnesota. Great team, big fan base. What was the biggest attraction to you? What was different about that offer compared to the New York one?
Well, the biggest thing was just the work environment. Like I knew for a fact, like coming into a team, like even when Mike was on the team, like I didn't know if we were going to be playing with Mike. But just knowing how Mike works, knowing how Preston works, knowing how attached, like their mindsets. I mean, their coaching staff is really respected. Not saying New York's isn't. Everything just felt like these guys have been like on their BS, and I feel like things just haven't gone well with them because of their dynamic. So I can just fit right in, and I know what I'm gonna get out of them. They know what they're gonna get out of me. gonna be working really hard. Like there's never gonna be any doubt. And I think like the big thing too is the guys on my team, like a lot of them really respect me, and I knew that coming in, and like that's just big. You have to trust all your teammates. So even before I got offered New York, I wanted to be on Minnesota because I saw them struggling a little bit. So in the back of my head, I was like, okay, maybe.
Was there a thing that you thought you could fix, or a thing that you could bring that would freshen up the team and to an extent? And have you felt that in practices so far?
Yeah, I thought just like everything that I've learned from Challengers, there's so many things I thought I could bring to the team. I didn't know who I would be replacing. Even I'm still surprised that that Mike isn't on the team, but it kind of makes sense where we're going, like the approach we're taking. So I thought I could bring a lot just from, like I said, the Challengers situations that I've been put in, and like how much me and Texas Nation like learned the game, and like I feel like there's a lot of things that we knew that Minnesota didn't know. And there's a lot of things that Minnesota knew that like were different from the way we saw things. And then we just meshed those things. Like I helped a lot, they helped me a lot. And I think just overall game knowledge and like how to go about certain situations that I brought, not necessarily the dynamic, which I also brought more pacing to. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff, and I think it's going to help a lot.
I want to speak about MajorManiak because I think most people were surprised that he was the one who was dropped from the roster. What's the perspective on your side, having synergized with the team? Did you trial with a version of the team that had MajorManiak in at all? And why ultimately has he been the one who's been let go for your sake?
So yeah, we tried all the rosters. The first roster was Mike and Preston. So me and Attach were on all of them. The first one was with Mike and Preston, and it went really well. We were doing good. We won a lot of maps. We had weaker matchups that day, or those 3 days, but we played good. Second roster with Mike and Eli was not good at all. It was really bad. And then the third was with Preston and Eli, which was also pretty good. Not the first day, but the second 2 days were really good. The way that we looked at it, it was a really tough call, but the way that we looked at it is this game is a lot of pacing. It's a lot of pressure, like playmaking. And I felt like looking at it objectively, if we really lock in with Standy and me as like a sub duo, and Preston's on the main, which would be flexible. I guess Dylan could be on the main too, but that's what we decided to go with. Then we would be very, very fast with a lot of like playmaking on the map. And if we could just make sure that we do all these plays correctly as fast as we do them, like the ceiling would just be higher with this team. Trying to take Eli under the wing, trying to like turn him into a god because he's really, really good. It's just going to come down to how fast we pick up certain strategies and stuff. Objectively, I think this team has a higher ceiling than that first team that we trialed.
Did you have any other options in the league? Was there any other offers coming your way, or was it kind of this or nothing?
See, the New York offer, I think before there might have been like a small Paris offer, but it wasn't ever like talked about or official.
And looking ahead to the Prime, obviously it's going to be your first event on the roster. I think lots of people are very interested and excited to see what sort of performance you guys put together. You're obviously playing against your former teammate, Jordan General. He's going to be subbing in for iLLeY at the event. How does that feel for you personally? Now you're going to be playing against someone who has helped develop you this season, and now you're both playing at kind of the top tier.
I'm honestly, I'm so happy for him to like get this opportunity because he really deserves it, and I'm really excited because he's a really good player. Like we're complete opposite spectrums of players, but like he's main AR, I'm fast sub, but he's a really good player. He deserves it. I'm excited to play against him. I know both of us aren't gonna hold anything back, so it's gonna be a good series. It's gonna be fun, and it's all love at the end of the day too. So.
And obviously you're playing against Florida Mutineers as well, the team that you found out you'd been dropped from on the plane. How are you feeling about that?
This is just one of those typical like revenge stories, I guess. Like I want to come back and beat them really bad. At the end of the day, though, they're still my friends. Like they're still my boys. Like we won together in the past, so it's no bad blood or anything. But I really want to beat them. So I'm gonna be going really hard for that one.
What would you consider to be a success at the event? Obviously, it's your first time together as this version of a roster. What would be like an acceptable placing, or is it win or nothing?
I wouldn't say it's win or nothing because we've only been practicing for 4 or 5 days. Obviously, we want to win, and I think we can. If we're locked in, we can win for sure. Because sometimes you just join a tournament and everyone's just on the same page and just firing on all cylinders, and that's when you win. Obviously, it's easier to get to that point after a lot of practice. So we've had maybe a week. If we got top 4, like it'd be really cool. Anywhere around like top 4, like making a deep run into the tournament, beating some good teams. It's kind of what I'm looking forward to. And then letting the rest happen. We win, I'm there, but we'll see what happens.